Okay, welcome back here. Now we're on part 3. And so if you'll look at the directions for part 3, it says that you're going to use shorthand symbols to represent the different combinations. Okay, now that you've had some formulas, you should understand that what we were doing was trying to lead you into the understanding of real formula compounds, real chemical formulas. So maybe this will make a little bit more sense. But if you're looking at your directions, it tells you that the shorthand symbol for a short bolt is capital B, lowercase s. And the shorthand symbol for a long bolt atom is capital B, lowercase l. And the shorthand symbol for a hex nut is capital H, lowercase x. And the symbol for a square nut atom is capital S, lowercase q. Now in the examples that it shows you, notice that the bolts always come first. Okay? Also notice that in the examples it doesn't have like hex nut, or short bolt, square nut, hex nut, square nut. It's not putting the symbols in the order that they are in your little pictures. It's combining like atoms. But you don't see that, and then you're not sure what you're doing if you don't look at the examples and really pay attention and see the little things that are going on in the examples. So we're going to do this, and forgive me, I have to switch back and forth here, but we're going to start off with this very first picture here. And notice you have a short bolt atom and you have a hex nut atom. So for putting the bolts first, it's going to be capital B, lowercase s, and then it's going to be capital H, lowercase x. Notice there's no commas, there's no plus signs, there's no gaps. Okay? So now, if we go to this next one, and let's see, I might have to switch down here again. Now I'll try it here. Okay, that's going to work. So notice I have a short bolt atom, and I have a square nut atom. So again, it's going to be capital B, lowercase s. Learn how to type, Mr. Wells. And then it's going to be capital S, lowercase q. Okay. Notice because we only have one of each, that there's no subscripts. Okay. No commas, no gaps, no plus signs. And notice the bolt comes first and then the nut. So now when we get into this one, notice we have a short bolt atom and we have two hex nut atoms. So now it's going to look a little different. And forgive me because I'm going to have to switch to the subscript when I get there. So again, we're going to have BS first, and then we're going to have HX, and then I'll have to switch down here, to the subscript. Okay, and because I have two hex nut atoms, I'm going to put, it was supposed to be a subscript. Okay, it lied to me. Shame on it. All right, we'll try this again. Oh, maybe because I didn't click on that deal. Duh, Mr. Wells. All right, so notice that the subscript, we call a subscript. Sub means below. Script means writing. So it's writing below, or writing below the line. Okay? So that's what that one would look like. Okay? So now let's go to this next one, and I'll just double check to make sure that we're not still going to be in a subscript. Let's just try it. So I've got one short bolt atom. Okay, cool. And then I've got a hex nut atom. And then I've got a square nut atom. So notice what that looks like. And I didn't have to do them in the order in which they appeared. I did say in some classes, and again, if you look at the examples, even if you went over to part 4 and looked at some of those combinations over there, some of that short bolt, you see that it goes BL first and then BS. So we're kind of going in alphabetical order. They both of them start with a B, so you go to the second letter, and L comes before S. And then with the nut atoms, H comes before S. Okay, if you did it the other way and you had the SQ first and then the HX, or you had the BS first and then the BL, I didn't count it wrong. All right, so if you see that one, okay, I'm going to jump down to this one. Okay, and so looking at that one, I'll move it up just a little bit so we're not crowding the one below it. So notice again, we're going to have a short bolt atom. Okay, now if you took what I just said, even though the square nut comes first, the hex nut alphabetically would come first. So, and notice I have 2 hex nut atoms. So I'm going to do HX, and then I have to go down here and choose my little subscript again. Okay, and I'm going to put a 2. Mr. Wells. Gosh. I see. Did you see me? I clicked on the wrong one. Shame on me. All right. Now, let me just go down and double check and make sure that, okay, so I got to click off of that because now I only have one square nut, so I'm going to go back to just the regular script. Okay. Now, one of the reasons why I showed you that one is because if we look down at this next one, okay, watch what happens. If I'm not putting them in order that they appear in the picture, I'm still going to have the BS first. Okay, notice I have the hex nut, but I'm not going to go hex nut, square nut, hex nut. You put like things together. So I put HX, and I've got 2 of them. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to get the 2. And I'm going to go down and take it off of the subscript, and then I go back to SQ. Okay? So if you look at that, notice that even though you had 2 different pictures and the things were in a different order, we still have to look at how they can combine. So when the whole thing reacts, remember reaction from the reading and also that video yesterday, that when they react, they're going to combine in just a certain way. Okay? So I'll go over here and do one. Alright, just so you can see what it would look like with a long bolt. So again, we're going to have BL, uppercase L, lowercase l, or uppercase B, lowercase l. Okay, now notice we have HX, and so we have HX, and see, there's 2 of them. So I have to go through all these little steps. All you have to do is just write it. Okay? And then I have 1 square nut atom. Okay? So guess what? I bet you can figure out what this one would look like. Still capital B, lowercase l. Still going to be capital H, lowercase x. And yep, you guessed it, we're going to have to go down there and get the subscript again because there were 2 hex nut atoms. And then I'm going to have to go down here and turn off the subscript and go back to our regular SQ. Okay? Now, the only thing that will be different here is that you have BL, BS, HX2. And here you would have let's just do this one. So this one would be BL, and notice I have two of them. So I'd go down here, get my subscript, put a 2, turn off my subscript, and then put SQ. Alright, so I'll do a couple more here. I'll do a 3 bolt. And I bet you some of you are way ahead of me here.
No.
So notice we have one long bolt, so that's BL. We have 2 short bolts, so that's BS. Okay, it's not really BS. Okay, and our subscript. Okay, don't go home and tell your folks that I said it was BS. All right, and then you have 1 hex nut and 1 square nut. Okay, when you get down to your 4 bolt combination, then notice we're going to have BL 2. We're going to have BS 2. We're going to have, in this one, we have HX. Whoops. HX. Where'd you learn to type, Mr. Wells? 2. And then, get this out of here. Hey, stop it. And then we're just going to have, whoops. See, I couldn't see what I was doing. Whoops. Uh-oh. Mr. Wells. And we have SQ. Okay? Hope that helps, guys. And again, you can play this back however many times you want to. And from there, you should be able to understand part 3